Yes, I am live. How are you all doing? Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. And I say time because that is what we're going to be talking about. So today, I've put it on 30 minutes. All right. In fact, right. And I've got 30 minutes to speak, and then I've got about 10 minutes or so of your questions. So if you've got any questions, do hit me up with them. This is the second presentation that I've done over the last couple of days for the Startup Scale Summit. And I've got to take my hat off to Keaton, depending on how you want to refer to him, Keaton, for doing this. How cool is this, that the fact that we've got the technology that allows us to deal with it? Look, yesterday, can I be honest with you? I do presentations day in, day out. I actually speak in front of lots of people and do Zooms. And yesterday was strange because I'm thinking I'm alive. I started, then I was told that we're not live. Then I started, then we go 3 times that happened. And it was disorientating yesterday because I had no audience. I've got nobody. I didn't know who was there or so forth. It was confusing. It was strange. Welcome to this year, because this entire year has been confusing, strange and disorientating. Boys and girls, my name is Brad Burton. I'm the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. And people say to me, Brad, how do you become the UK's #1 motivational business speaker? I just made a website that said I'm the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. And sometimes the first person that you've got to convince of your brilliance is you. So just to put your mind at ease, I am from Salford, Manchester. Do have shaved head, do have tattoos, but don't worry, I'm not a drug dealer anymore. But we can all change, boys and girls, and that's what this is about. So for the course of the next 29 minutes, I'm going to help you change, because this year has been strange. It's been disorientating. It's been confusing for so many of us. But think about this yesterday when I had this presentation, when I was doing it, and I was like disorientated, and then I learned from yesterday's experience. And it's allowed me to make for a better, more pleasurable experience for me, let alone you, the audience. Welcome to experienced people, because that's what it's about. It's an expert. It's someone that has made all the mistakes in a particular niche field. But before I get to that, I want you to rewind. I want you to rewind to a time before this pandemic. Rewind to a time when we could do things like going to see each other face to face. I know, wild, eh? Just rewind. And now I want you to rewind to a time in your life when, if you'd have made a different decision, your life would have been fundamentally different. Think about that. If you would have made a different decision, your life would have been fundamentally different. I'm just going to let you have a second with that while you think about it. So a decision, it might have been a job, a role, a business, a relationship. What might it have been that actually, if you'd have made a different decision, life would have been different? Guess what, people? You can't rewind. You can't rewind. And we spend so much of our time trying to rewind to a time when, well, you know, I wish we could go out and see each other. We can't right now. I wish we could. We can't right now. And it's so important that you don't stay in the past. And over the course of the next 27 minutes, I'm going to help you deal with that thing that you keep revisiting, that thing that you keep going back to. But let me be honest with you. I'm making it all up. That's the reality is. I'm making it all up. And in fact, every single individual that you know is making it all up. So my name is Brad Burton, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. I'm also the 4-time best-selling business author on Amazon. Go on Google, man, you'll find out. I'm the guy who founded 4Networking, the business networking organization that changed everything, 4Networking. And I've been in that business since 2006. And actually, prior to that, I actually started my business back in 2004. It was December 2004, coming up actually. And I told my employer to shove the job at the backside, and I walked out of a job. And I tell you something, people, it was a wonderfully liberating experience. It really was, for those 3 hours whilst I drove home. I'm married. I arrived home and I've opened the door, and standing before me was 8.5 stone of common sense. The wife, she says to me, "You're home early, Brad. Are you here to look after baby Ben while I go shopping?" That's one way to look at it, Kerry. The other way is I told my employer to shove the job up the backside. What do you think, boys and girls? My supportive wife said, exactly. She said, "You're an effing idiot. Why couldn't you keep your mouth shut for 5 days and get your Christmas pay?" She had a point. So I started my business off £25,000 in debt, no income, no idea, but no qualifications. And it culminated in me delivering pizzas to keep my business afloat. I had friends of mine telling me, "What are you doing starting a business off? Why don't you, get a job? We're going out this weekend, or we're going to Ibiza or a holiday or whatever, when you can't afford to do it." 94% of businesses fail in the first 10 years. 94% of businesses. I have been in business with 4Networking for 14 and a half, nearly 15 in February, 15 years. So what have I done right? And what have I done wrong? Well, let me explain what I've done right. You'll never be the market leader copying the market leader. Think about that. You will never be the market leader, copy the market leader. So what I did, I came up with some innovation in the space. And when I started my business off, I had 3 things: mobile phone, shoe leather, and big balls. That was it. Oh, actually, no, I had 3 sensible things: ideas, vision, and belief. It's about belief. It's about belief. It's about belief. And if you don't 100% believe in your business, 100%. Don't get pissed off. Don't get upset when other people that you go pitch or present your business to don't 100% believe in it either. So I started my business off with nothing other than those 3 things that I talked about. Fast forward to the start of this year, full networking, over £1 million business. We run over 5,000 business networking meetings across the UK each and every year. 5,000 business networking meetings. Well, we did until COVID came along and changed everything. Because February, we're doing over 100 grand a month. And then COVID comes along, lockdown, and bang, we are to zero. £0. Now, we're all going through a grieving process. Every single one of us is going through a grieving process. And the way you go through the grieving process is this. First and foremost, remember when this landed? First and foremost, what happens? The grieving process. Denial. Oh, we'll be locked down for a few weeks, maybe 4 weeks, then we'll be back to it at the end of March, start of May. Cool. That was 7-8 months on. And then what happens when you go through that denial stage further? You then go to anger. You're angry. Come on, Rishi. Come on, Boris. You need to sort it out. And then we go from denial to anger. Then what happens? We go to depressed. And then what happens? We go to acceptance. Listen, I've been through all that entire stage over the last 7 months, and I'm going to share with you my experience, because my experience is so many other people's experience. The difference is I'm daft enough to share it. So when it comes to running a business, a multi-million-pound business operation that went to zero, I could sit there and I could start whinging. I could spend my time, after I've said to Boris and after I've said to Rishi that you need to do something, I could sit there, keep banging the same drum. And what would happen? Nothing. I'd be wasting time. And time is the most important asset that we each have. 7 minutes since I started. Time is so important. So when it comes to making decisions, it's so important that you use your time effectively. And there's direct correlations between people who make fast decisions and success. So let me explain my methodology of making decisions fast, because let me be quite clear here. Where you end up in your life, in your business, in your career, is a direct result of your decisions. It would be all too easy to go, well, the reason I can't get on right now is because of the COVID virus. That's why. My business was doing fabulous. And then COVID comes along and that's the reason that I can't do it. Or in my case, the reason I couldn't succeed was, well, my dad left when I was 6 months old. And what you don't know about me is I left school with no qualifications, not one. I've done 4 years on benefits on the dole. I've been addicted to drugs twice. You've got to work really hard to get addicted twice. So is that me, Brad? Am I that Brad? The guy from Council Estates in Salford? Or am I this Brad, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker, 4-time best-selling author, founder of 4 Networking and so many other things? They are 2 sides of the same coin. But so often in life, we're scared of our past. We're scared of this. The very stuff that made us. So if you think about, if you've played Dungeons and Dragons or a computer game, what's the difference between a level 1 wizard and a level 20 wizard? A level 1 wizard can do a couple of magic missiles and then they need to sleep or have some mana potions. A level 20 wizard can generate or summon up dragons and fireballs and flame shields and what have you. So what's the difference? The difference between level 1 and level 20 is experience. And where does that experience come from in computer games and Dungeons and Dragons? It comes from battles. But so many people I meet have had these battles, but at the very point when they've dealt with them, they've not picked up the experience and they just move on. So when it comes to this whole thing, and I said I'm making it up, I'm being really honest, and all I've ever done is make it up. Whether it was making it up to start a business, whether it was making it up to write a book. And I think to myself, how the fuck did that happen? How did writing a book happen? Didn't just fall out of me. A book and it's good. Oh, there you go. There's 40,000, excuse me, where am I going? There's 40,000 words. What happened is I had to have an idea. The idea is vision and belief. I then had to go every single day for a year planning and then start writing for 6 months, then get a sub-editor, then design the cover and so forth, then print it out, and right? These things don't happen just by accident. So how did that happen that I started a business and that business ended up becoming the one that changed everything? How did it happen that you are where you are in your life? Because it wasn't an accident, it was decisions. So people say, well, I want to write a book. I've got an idea. Well, you might have an idea, but an idea is not enough. It's 1% of it. It's 99% of doing it. People don't want to do the hard work. They want to be an entrepreneur. They want to run a business. They want to speak in front of thousands of people, but they're not prepared to speak for thousands of times for free. You see the apprentice and they go, oh, I'll do anything, Lord Sugar. I'll do anything, Lord Sugar, to get the job. Would you deliver pizzas for 6 months to deliver the, to get the job? No. Okay, so what would you do? And I say the same to you. What would you do to get yourself from where you are right now to where you want to be? Because I am just a working class lad. No qualifications. Dad left when I was 6 months old. Been addicted to drugs twice. Got no, done 4 years on benefits. Boom. And what changed? I changed the way that I think about myself, because you'll never outperform your self-image. If my self-image was, oh, I'm just a working class lad from Salford, guess what? This would never have happened. This would never have happened. For networking never happened. But I had to change this. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to change this, because you'll never outperform your self-image. If you think that you are just a lazy, fat web developer, guess what? That's all you'll ever be. Let me be quite clear here. Never trust a fat motivational speaker. I was 3 stone heavier. 3 stone heavier. Go and Google Brad Burton working lunch and go and watch me on television in 2011. 3 stone heavier. I'd lost control of who I was because I was so focused on business success that I ended up with it. Business success. I was ill. I was ill. So focused, because that's what success is about, isn't it? It's about money. Making money, 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 money. That's what it's about. Go and get yourself a jet and go and get a photograph, straddle over it. Look at the whole world that we're looking in right now. Instagram world. Everywhere you look, squad goals, some kid, 26-year-old with a £40,000 Rolex watch, and you're 25 going, well, I've not got a Rolex watch. I'm a failure. Stop it. Run your race. Run your race. Your race. Because so many other people, there's a reason that racehorses wear blinkers. They don't give 2 shits about the competition, and neither do I. I run my race. Every single penny, every single ounce of my day is focused on me, on my stuff, on changing the world, on changing the way that I do things. I'm not looking at what other people are doing. I used to, and I got myself in a mess here, spent time, I'll get to it in a second. I spent time, what was this? When all this was going on, my business had collapsed overnight. Gone. Office, bills, 50, 60,000 pounds a month, no money. So now what am I going to do? Or as I said, mirrored. Now what? You don't write a book called Now What without that's what it's about. Now I've got a friend of mine who's an SES man, and he shared with me some advice throughout all this time. And he said to me, he said, Brad, you cannot delegate responsibility. You cannot delegate responsibility. It was on me. I would love nothing better than to say, well, come on, Rishi Sunak, come on, Boris Johnson, you need to do something. And I did that at first, but once you said your plea, that's it, move on. So I had to make some changes. Just been notified, 122 people tuned in right now. How amazing is this? Like, seriously, Startup Scale Summit. Once again, innovation. I always ask this question, when this all shit hit the fan and my business collapsed, I got a piece of paper and I wrote on the top, what does this make possible? And I want you to do the same. Because think about it, every single decision that you've ever made in your life, and in my life has brought us here today. I am talking to you. Get a piece of paper and say to yourself, what does this make possible? Now I'm going to rewind to something I failed to mention. I talked to you about me being 4 years on benefits. Dad left when I was 6 months old, been addicted to drugs twice, no qualifications. What I failed to mention was I got shot at when in 1995. So what was it now? 25 years ago, I got shot at in Manchester. And I moved away from Manchester, my home, overnight. So think about it, whatever trouble you've got going on in your life right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, oh, well, yeah, I'm furloughed at the moment, my business is struggling. On a scale of 1 to 10, about the severity of how serious that problem is, where do you reckon it is? Oh, it's an 8. Right, try having 2 bullets put through your window and you've got a contract on your head. Where's your 8 now? Oh, it's a 4. Right. Recalibrate, and that's what you've got to do. Now, let me explain something. The worst day of my life back in 25 years ago, I moved away from Salford, Manchester, and I moved to Somerset. And what happened was I was depressed. I'd go to the doctors for Fluoxetine, Prozac. So this is 25 years ago. And I walked down Western-super-Mare High Street. And I remember walking down Western-super-Mare High Street and I kicked a can and I had no one to kick that can back. I was alone. And the reason that I was depressed, the reason I was sad, was because I wanted to go back to a place that no longer existed. I wanted to go back to Manchester the way that it once was. My friends, my social circle, my house and everything. It was gone, and spent years trying to go back there, pissed off. Denial, anger, depression, acceptance. The same principles, people, to write what you need to be doing. Because if you want to go back to the world that it once was pre-COVID, you are living in cloud cuckoo land. It's not going to happen anytime soon. Anytime soon. Look, I'm used to speaking in front of thousands of people, in front of audiences, thousands of people. Right now, I'm stuck in my home office. I could sit there and bitch and go, well, I'm going to go to account. I'm going to wait to see what happens. And that's what people are doing, waiting to see what happens. Well, let me tell you something. If you're going to be one of those people that's going to wait to see what happens, when this is all over, there's going to be a column. And on that column, there's going to be losers. And on the other side, there's going to be winners. And those people are waiting to see what happens. Those people that didn't come on today, those people that, don't like doing online, don't like Zoom. Those people are going to be the ones that bitch and turn around and say, see, the government should have done something about it. Whilst people like you are go-getters. People like you are the difference. When it comes to success, where you end up in your life is a direct result of your decisions. Your decisions. I am just a Salford lad from Manchester. Look at it. Shaved head, tattoos. I'm hardly an archetypal motivational speaker, am I? Because people told me I couldn't do it. People said, oh, it'll never work. You can't possibly, you can't possibly be a motivational speaker. Why not? Well, you look like a drug dealer. I'm not, by the way, anymore. But we can all change. But this is the thing. So rather than hide from it, rather than the fact that I look like a drug dealer, I know I do, I embrace it. So when I speak, I say, look, first thing I say, put your mind at ease, I look like a drug dealer. Gets a laugh, gets out of the way, because otherwise what happened? He looks like a drug dealer, him. So people said it'd never work. People told Caton that it'd never work this. People said, oh, nobody will go through it. Shut up. Thousands of people registered for this. Thousands. So he made it happen. He made it happen. And that's what you need to do, make it happen. But it's all down to decisions. And the reason in life that we don't make decisions is we're scared they're the wrong ones. Now, smart people on here right now from various organizations. Let me ask you this. Did anyone have on their business plan in January a pandemic? Now, in the real world, I'll be able to look for faces. I can't do that. I am blind. I'm talking to a lens. But I can guarantee nobody has had a pandemic on there. So you've got all these smart people that tell you need to do this and you need to look after this and you need to do that and that, but nobody had on their thing a pandemic. See, here's the thing. Nobody knows what is happening in the next 8 minutes, let alone the next 8 years. And we're all trying to speculate. Oh, this is my 5-year plan. I ain't got a 5-year plan. I've got a 5-week plan. I've got a 5-month plan, but a 5-year plan. Stop it. Nobody knows. So you spend all this time and energy trying to get these big, long plans. For what? Pointless. Because it all changes. And it's your ability to deal with change that is going to dictate where you get up to. So as I said, that your success or failure is going to be defined by your ability to make decisions. Want more success? Make better decisions. And the reason you don't make better decisions is 2 reasons. 1, people under stress don't make great decisions. So you get thrown into a situation with COVID and you have to make a decision. But you're stressed, but you had no option. I described it to the way that I work with my team, and I've got an amazing team. I described it the way that I work with my team. It was a bit like them coming down the stairs at the Twin Towers. They was tired, and I said, I don't give a shit. Keep going. And we saved the business. We took it online for an online.biz. We took it online. It's in the goodie bags. So you go and check out the digital goodie bags. You get yourself a free visit to my network. And that was because that ability to deal with change, that ability to adapt, to stop looking for Rishi Sunak to fix your life and your business. Stop looking for it. So when it comes to decisions, here's the thing. Remember what I said from the outset. So yesterday I did a presentation and it was all right. It was all right. Why? Because I was bamboozled. I was disorientated. I was, It was confused, waiting for the people to tip up. No one's tipping up. But what that's allowed me is experience. And this is the thing. Think about this. Experience is what you win when you lose. And that's what an expert is. An expert is someone that has made all the mistakes and dealt with everything in a particular niche field and learned from it. So if you want to be an expert in your field, web development, accountancy, blah, 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 you've got to make mistakes. You have to make mistakes. You've got to make decisions. You've got to make mistakes. And so many people are scared of making a mistake. People, I have built my life on mistakes. And the story far outlives the mistake. So yesterday wasn't a mistake. It was a difficult set of circumstances that you're trying to find a way through. And today's better. And tomorrow will be even better. And that's what an expert is. An expert is someone, right? So when it comes to making a decision, right now you've got a decision to make. I don't know what your decision is, but you've got a decision to make. You know what that decision is. And you can't make it because you're scared it's the wrong one. Once again, anyone got a time machine? No. So you don't know whether it's the right or wrong decision. You've got no idea. It's a guess. What did I say before? I'm making it up. That's all I'm doing. And a guess, a strategy is just a guess. A posh name for a guess. That's all it is. So when it comes to making decisions, the only time you realize whether it's a right one or wrong one is after the event. No one, including me, wakes up and says, you know what? I'm going to go and fuck up today. But occasionally I do. But here's the thing. When it comes to making decisions, if you make a decision that's the right one, it moves you one step towards success. If you make the wrong one, it moves you one step towards being an expert. And as long as you learn from that mistake, it's a good thing. You can't lose. Now, I'm going to share something that Bentley Global used. Bentley Global, £2 billion business. Yeah. And the reason that Bentley Global used this is because I taught them, Brad Burton, the former drug addict, the guy who's done 4 years on benefits, the guy who got shot at when he was 21, the guy, my bad. Brad Burton, the highest rated and reviewed business author on Amazon, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker, says so me, bradburton.biz website, the founder of 4 Networking. Do you see what I'm saying? Two sides of the same coin. Yet people told me I'd never amount to anything. And you know what? I listened to those people and I allowed them to dictate what I was. And so many people are scared to be them. Just be you. So when you're in business environments, you're now being formal. So you now got a 3-piece suit and a pocket watch. That's not you. You're not wearing an AC/DC t-shirt, but now you're conforming and you're surrounded by other people that are conforming and you end up being something you're not. And at the very point when my life turned around and my successes turned around, was when I realized, you know what? I'm good enough. I'm good enough doing it my way. And I don't waste any energy whatsoever pretending to be something I'm not. If people don't like me for being me, that's okay. Somebody came up to me after I spoke and said, well, your style isn't it for everyone? I said, name one person in the history of humanity whose style is for everyone. Name one person. They couldn't. People, when it comes to making decisions, I'm about to share something that I taught Bentley Global and their management team, their enterprise training team use this. So when it comes to making decisions, I make a decision in 24 seconds. I'm the easiest person in the world to make a decision. 24 seconds. If I can't make a decision in 24 seconds, I'll revisit it in 24 minutes. If after 24 minutes I can't make a decision, I'll revisit it in 24 hours. If after 24 hours I can't make a decision, next, move on. People, where you end up in your life is a direct result of your decisions. The more decisions that you can make right or wrong and learn from them, the faster you're going to get to where you need to be in life. Always ask yourself this question. Always ask yourself this question. What does this make possible? And this is what happened to me when this whole situation, I'll take your questions in a minute. So if you have got any questions, please do field them to your facilitator rather than me sat here waiting, going, oh, any questions, right? What does this make possible? And that's what I did. And what it made possible for me was to start again. Like I started again 21 years ago, 25 years ago, I started again, but I resisted that change. I resisted the opportunity to start again. This is the thing. If you get to the end of this pandemic and you've not changed your business or you've not changed who you are about what you stand for, then you've done something very, very wrong. Let me explain something. I talked about success before. In our lives, what we end up doing is we say, my life's going to be good when I get that 40-inch television. You get a 40-inch television, then it's a 60-inch you want, then an 80, then 100. And then you want a cinema. Or, my life's going to be good when I get that job, that contract, start my own business and so forth. And we end up, it's almost like you're chasing this thing because you believe that that's where happiness is. Do you believe happiness and contentment is at this next television or the next thing that you're chasing, whatever that thing is you're chasing? I went to a friend of mine's got an £8 million property, just going through a divorce at the moment, over in Mayfair. And I went there and he took me downstairs and he turned the lights on in the basement. Ding, ding, ding. Lit up. He's got a 40-foot cinema, 40 seats there, velvet, red velvet, popcorn machine, tickets, all that. I said, you know what you need now, Steve? He said, what's that? I said, a good fucking divorce lawyer and 38 fucking friends. We end up chasing this stuff where we believe is going to make us happy. I have a 5-bedroom house. Let me be clear, 15 years ago, I was in a masonette above a chippy on benefits, right? I'm now running my own life, maybe 50 now. I'm now running my own life. Everything's good. I've got a 5-bedroom detached house over in Somerset. And I'm not trying to gloat. I'm trying to say a lesson here. I wanted a 10-bedroom mansion. A swimming pool and stuff like this. If I would have worked really hard, I've got one room that I don't go in my house. If I would have worked really hard, guess what I'd have got? 6 rooms that I don't go in. Just make certain that what you're running after is what you really want, not what's been foisted on you by Instagram, by squad goals, by so on and so forth. Let me explain something, people. This whole situation, what does it make possible? And I want you to just think for a second, right now, where you are in your life, in your business. I want you to think of it like you're almost like you're writing a book. You're writing a book with the main character being you, and you're halfway across the book, and you've got blank pages ahead of you. You need to work out where, and how the moves that character needs to make in order to get to where you need to be in your life, where you need to be in your business. But you're never going to write that book if you keep going back and rereading the earlier chapters. And this is what people do. They keep going over something that happened, some terrible thing that happened, befell them 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Somebody cheated on them, losing the job, losing the contract, getting ripped off, getting divorced. And you are never going to write the next chapters of what you need to do in order to get there. And when it gets tough, and it will get tough, I want you to write, this is not how this story ends. And I want you to say that to yourself. This is not how this story ends. This is not how my story ends. Because so many people would have buckled over what happened with my business. And let me explain something. I worked so hard for 3 months, 4 months. And then one day I had to lie down at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. And I couldn't move. I reached burnout. That's what happened. I would reach burnout. And for 2 weeks, I was in bed, just eating tea and toast, feeling sorry for myself. My wife said to me, do you want a cup of tea or coffee? I don't know. People, your biggest chance of success is this. We believed that this whole COVID thing was going to be fought on Nightingale wards up and down in the UK. Well, guess what? It's not. This is going to be one that is fought financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Relationships are going to be affected, everything. And I need you to prepare yourself. Keep this strong. Don't be frustrated looking at stupid news stuff about stuff that you can't think of, getting involved. Imagine that there's a corridor. In this corridor, on the left, there is a room full of negative people. On the right is a room full of positive people. Which room would you want to be in? Everyone's saying positive. Well, why the fuck are you in negative Facebook groups listening to people chirp on about shit that you cannot affect? That stuff, right now, when there's a pandemic on and you're locked down, you need to secure this. You need to make certain it's all good. Look, I've got 2 minutes left. One day, we're all going to have 2 minutes left. One day, you're going to have 2 minutes left of your life. Nobody wants to talk about it. But imagine if you had a clock on your head that's showing you how much life you've got left. Do you reckon you'd be sat there arguing about Brexit in a Facebook group? And let me ask you another question. Has anyone ever changed anyone's opinion online as a result of a Facebook argument? No, doesn't happen. But what you can do is you can change yourself. But the way you change yourself is not wasting time. Time is the most important asset that we all have. We've got it all confused. Today, people will be buying a PlayStation 5 and they're choosing to spend 500 quid on a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox or a telly or this, that, and the other. What about your time? Choose where you put as much focus about where you spend your time. Spend your time, people, wisely. because one day you're going to have no more of it. And I'll tell you something, if I could sell you extra days of your life right now for £1,000, how many would you want? None. On your last day of your life, if you had 1 minute left, how many would you want? As many as you could afford. What does that say? It says that today is as valuable as the last day of your life, but you're taking today for granted. We've taken our freedoms for granted. You've taken everything for granted. And it's now time to change, because for the last 29 minutes, I've been talking to you. I have been talking to you. This is your message. Every single decision I've ever made in my life has brought me here today. I'm talking to you. I got shot at the worst day of my life. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be speaking to you right now. This Brad Burton wouldn't have been born. So everything happens for a reason, even the shitty stuff. And sometimes it's only when it's in your rear view mirror that you realize how important things have been. People, I've got 30 seconds left. If I had 30 seconds left in my life, what would I say to the people that I love? If you had 30 seconds left of your life, what would you say to the people that you love? Would you be saying, oh, I need to finish that proposal off? Or would you say to your children, I love you? Would you go and hold your wife or your husband's or your partner's hand? Would you go and ring your mum? And I say to you right now, do that today. Whatever that last 20 seconds, that 30 seconds, that last 24 hours of your life you would do, go and do it. Take the time away. Move away from the computer. Move away from the computer. Stop doing this. Turn the television off and go and hold hands with someone you love. Go and see your children. Do you see what I'm saying? People, we've got one life. We've got one life. And what I say to you, I'm going to round off now. What I say to you is, firstly, thank you so much, Startup Scale Summit. Thank you so much, Keaton, for this opportunity. And I hope that you can make a positive difference today to your life, to your business, because there is more to business than business. I've realized that. I am happy. I am content. And this is what I want you to be. I want you to be driven. I want you to be ambitious, but above all, I want you to be happy. And when those decisions that you're making, your decisions are making you unhappy, you're making the wrong decisions. My name is Brad Burton, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. I think it's fair to say I'm not as thick as I look. Thank you so much. Now, at which point we'd have some amazing music. Questions? Am I going to just read these out and I'll just go for them? That's what I'll do. Okay. Okay, Smoker. What's your biggest frustration with the business industry today? Is that actually somewhere along the way you need to have a 3-piece suit and a pocket watch to be professional? You know, professional to me means, you know, you can, you invoice and you get paid. I do that all day long. So I just don't understand it. But this is the great, you know, when I first started, my first ever book was back in 2009, Get Off Your Ass. People said, you can't call a book Get Off Your Ass. I said, why not? Well, it's not very formal and you're professional and you won't get it sold over in Waterstones. Well, guess what? I sold it in Waterstones. So don't let people tell you what, you know, business industry. Don't let the industry mold you or get you into a different, world that you need to be or you don't need to be. Okay. Next question. I've got a few questions. Wonderful question. People are always looking for silver bullets. They don't exist. Do you think this is an excuse or a way of people staying in comfort zone? I think what people would like to do is think it's like Jack and the Beanstalk, especially with today's sponsored links coming up. You know, you'll learn the secrets of how you learn £70,000 in an email. I did an email once and I got 70,000 quid out of it, right? And actually I could sell a course that you'll learn the secrets to get but what I failed to mention in the bullet point that I could sell that is that, I had 7 years of heritage beforehand and we'd never done a sale for my networking organization. And that was the first time we did it in 2012 and we got 70 grand in one day. Now, you know, it's sold like that and people want to believe, people would rather believe that there's some way that you can skip the steps and you start on stair one and some way you can jump to the top. People don't want to do it. People don't want to do that. And unfortunately, you know, people are easily led. They would rather than have someone like me who's been dead honest about everything. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear it. So I have no idea, but I can tell you this, that those people that sell the bullshit courses and certainty make a whole lot more money than I'll ever do. And that's because people are stupid. And that's sad, really. Pandemic, how did you manage changing your business? How do you work in your business now? So I had to move fast, 24. That's our role. And, that's what I do. And how it's changed now is I've got a management team in there that are handling the processes and realizing that once again, rebuild the business differently. would be a wasted opportunity if we didn't do that. It really has been a Control-Alt-Delete on the world. And actually, any competitive advantage that I once had, 5,000 real-life networking meetings across the UK, pretty much gone. I've now got to rebuild it when we come back round. So, you know, I accept my money is down, probably turnover about 80% down since February or March. But I'm all right. So my costs, you know. So it's amazing that you think, okay, this is really an interesting time. Really, an interesting time in that I'm enjoying life, and actually, I realised that you don't need an office to run a business. This is proof of it. Okay, love you, but yeah, another book that I'm starting at the moment. I've got 2 minutes warning there. Another book that I'm writing at the moment, book 5. Once again, thingy curtailed it. The final thing I'll leave you with is this: imagine that you're an airplane and you're trying to go for pilot. You're trying to fly from here to here. As you're flying, you come across turbulence and storm, the likes of which you've never seen in your life. You can either try to push through it, or what you could do is you could land, refuel, recoup, recharge, reset. And that's precisely what I'm doing. All my goals and focus that I had for 2020, I've effectively gone, you know what, let us not push ourselves through here any further, and let's have a situation where, you know, you go and land the plane. And I would urge every single people who are listening to this to land your plane and then decide on your destination and perhaps fly around the clouds and what have you. And relax. Thank you so much, people. And once again, Keaton, thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Cheers. Bye, people. Find me on the socials.